Welcome to my new video. Today we will explore the philosophy of Visistadvaita Vedānta. Let's begin. Visistadvaita Vedānta is a school of Indian philosophy developed by Ramanujacharya. The term Visistadvaita means qualified non-dualism. It teaches that reality is ultimately one, non-dual. But this unity is not empty or featureless. It is qualified by diversity. Let's explore the concept of Saguṇa Brahman. According to Ramanujacharya, Saguṇa Brahman denotes Brahman with attributes. Is the highest and only ultimate reality. Unlike Adi Shankaracharya, who distinguishes between Nirguna, attributeless, and Saguna with qualities, Brahman, Ramanujacharya completely rejects the idea of an attributeless Brahman. For him, Brahman is always full of real, positive qualities. In this view, Brahman is identified with a personal God, Vishnu or Narayan, who possesses infinite auspicious qualities, kalyana gunas, such as knowledge, power, compassion, and bliss. These qualities are not limiting feature, rather they express the perfection of Brahman. Ramanujacharya also explained that the entire universe, matter, and all individual soul are real and exist as the body of Brahman. While Brahman is their inner controller, Antaryami, this means Saguṇa Brahman is not separate from the world, but includes it as an organic whole, maintaining unity along with diversity. Importantly, for Ramanujacharya, Saguṇa Brahman is not a lower or temporary form meant for worship. It is the true and ultimate nature of reality itself. Therefore, devotion, bhakti, and surrender, Prapatti, to this personal Brahman are the main path to liberation. In simple terms, Ramanujacharya's Saguṇa Brahman is a personal, perfect God full of qualities, who includes the world and soul within himself, and is the highest reality to be realized through devotion. Let's explore the arguments for refutation of Māyā. According to Ramanujacharya, the Advaita theory of Māyā or Avidya, as proposed by Adi Shankaracharya, is logically inconsistent. He refutes it through several Anupapatti, impossibility argument. First, Asraya-nupapatti, problem of locus. Avidya must reside somewhere, but where? Not in Brahman, because Brahman is pure knowledge. Not in the individual soul, since the soul itself is a product of Avidya in Advaita. So, the locus of ignorance cannot be explained. Second argument is Tirodhana-nupapatti, problem of concealment. How can Avidya cover or conceal Brahman? Brahman is self-luminous and infinite. Something unreal cannot hide the ultimate reality. So concealment is impossible. Third argument is Saropanupapatti, the problem of nature. What is the nature of Avidya? It cannot be real Sat, unreal Asat, or both. If it is nature itself cannot be defined clearly, the concept collapses. Fourth point is Anirvachaniyata nupapatti, Problem of indefinability. Advaita says avidya is anirvachaniya, indefinable. Ramanuja argues this is illogical. Everything must be either real or unreal. A third undefined category is unacceptable. Pramānupapatti, lack of valid proof. There is no valid means of knowledge. Pramana. To establish avidya as an independent entity, it is not directly perceived nor properly inferred. Sixth point is Nivartanupapatti, problem of remover. What is remove avidya? If knowledge remove it, then ignorance must be real to be removed. If unreal, it need no removal. The mechanism of its destruction is unclear. Seventh point is Nivritta Anupapatti, problem of cessation. Even after removal, how does avidya completely cease? If it truly existed, it should not vanish entirely. If it is do not, then liberation theory become meaningless. In short, Ramanuja reject Māyā as a mysterious illusion and instead affirm that the world is real, soul are real, and all exist, all mode of Brahman. Let's explore concept of Aprthaksiddhi and Pariṇāmavāda. According to Ramanuja, Aprthaksiddhi and Pariṇāmavāda are key ideas used to explain how the world and soul related to Brahman in Viśiṣṭādvaita. Aprthaksiddhi, inseparable existence, means that two things are distinct but cannot exist independently of each other. Ramanuja used this to explain the relationship between Brahman, the individual soul, and the world. Soul and the universe are real and different from Brahman, yet they are inseparably connected to him. Just like attributes are inseparable from a substance, or the body is inseparable from the soul, they cannot exist or their own apart from Brahman. Parinamavada, real transformation theory. In Ramanuja's system, means that the world is a real transformation of Brahman, not an illusion. However, this transformation does not change Brahman's essential nature. Instead, Brahman manifests the universe through his power. The change occurs in the modes, world and soul, not in the essential nature of Brahman itself. Combining Aprthaksiddhi and Pariṇāmavāda ideas, Brahman is the ultimate reality, and the world and the soul are his real manifestation. They are distinct yet inseparable. Aprthaksiddhi, and their emergence is a real expression or transformation, parinama, of Brahman. In simple terms, the universe is not separate from God, nor an illusion. It is a real part of him, always depend on him, like a body is to the soul. Let's explore the concept of Jiva. According to Ramanujacharya, the Jiva, individual soul, is a real, eternal and conscious entity that exists in inseparable relation with Brahman. The Jiva is distinct from Brahman, yet completely depend on him. Ramanuja explained this through the body-soul relationship. Just as the body depends on the soul, all jivas depend on Brahman, identified with Vishnu or Narayan, who is the inner controller, Antaryamin. Though the soul is not identical with God, but it is also never separate from him. The essential nature, Swarupa, of the Jiva is consciousness, Jnana. It is self-aware and capable of knowledge and experience. However, in the bound state, samsara, the soul knowledge is limited due to karma, which causes ignorance and suffering. Ramanuja described the Jiva as atomic Anu. In sight, not physically, but in the sense of being finite. Yet his consciousness can expand, especially in liberation. Unlike Adi Shankaracharya, who sees the individual self as ultimately identical with Brahman, Ramanuja insists that the Jiva always retains its individuality. He also classifies soul into three types. Nitya, eternally free soul, never bound. Mukta, liberate soul, free from bondage. Baddha, bound soul, still in samsara. The goal of Jiva is moksha, liberation, which is attaining through devotion, bhakti, and complete surrender, prapatti. In liberation, the soul does not merge and lose itself but remain distinct, experiencing eternal bliss and serving Brahman. In simple terms, the Jiva for Ramanuja is a real, conscious self, different from God, but inseparably connected to Him, whose ultimate fulfillment lies in loving union and service to Brahman. Let's explore the concept of Bhakti and Prapatti. According to Ramanuja, Bhakti and Prapatti are the two main spiritual paths to attain moksha, liberation, both centered on loving devotion to a personal Brahman, Vishnu or Narayan. Bhakti, devotion in Ramanuja's philosophy, is not just emotional worship but a deep, continuous and disciplined meditation filled with love for God. It arises after proper knowledge, Jnana, of Brahman and involves constant remembrance, worship and dedication. Bhakti is seen as a gradual path that requires effort, purity of mind and spiritual practice over time. Through this loving devotion, the soul developed an intense relationship with God and ultimately attained liberation. Prapatti, total surrender, is a moral, direct and accessible path. It means complete self-surrender to God, trusting entirely in His grace. Instead of relying on one's own effort, the devotee places full faith in God's compassion for liberation. Ramanuja presents Prapatti as especially suitable for those who may not be able to follow the long and demanding path of bhakti. Prapatti involves an inner attitude, often described through elements like accepting what pleases God, rejecting what displeases Him, having firm faith that God will protect, seeking Him, and the only refuse, surrendering oneself fully, and cultivation humility. The key difference is that bhakti emphasizes sustained effort and devotion, while prapatti emphasizes total surrender and reliance on divine grace. However, both ultimately depend on God's grace for liberation. In simple terms, bhakti is loving devotion practiced over time, while prapatti is complete surrender to God, both leading the soul to eternal union and service of Brahman. Let's explore the concept of Brahma-Pariṇāmavāda. According to Ramanuja, Brahma-Pariṇāmavāda is a doctrine that the world is a real transformation, parinama, of Brahman, not an illusion. Ramanuja accepts that Brahman, identified with Vishnu or Narayan, is both the material cause, upadana karuna and the efficient cause nimitta karuna of the universe. This means the universe comes out of Brahman and is also governed by him. However, this idea of transformation is very specific. It does not mean the Brahman loses its nature or get alternated its essence. Instead, the transformation happens in the modes prakara of Brahman, namely the world Jagat and soul Jivas. Brahman remains unchanged in its essential nature, but manifests itself in diverse forms. He explained this through the body-soul relationship. The entire universe and all soul are the body of Brahman, while Brahman is their inner self, just as soul can express itself through different bodily states without changing its essential nature. Brahman manifests the universe without undergoing real internal change. Thus, unlike Adi Shankaracharya's Vivartavad, apparent transformation or illusion, Ramanuja insists the world is real and meaningful, not a mere appearance. In simple language, Brahma-Pariṇāmavāda means that the universe is a real expression of Brahman. Everything comes from Brahman and exists in Brahman, yet he remains perfect and unchanged in his essential nature. Let's explore the concept of Sat-khyāti. According to Ramanuja, Sat-khyāti is his theory of error, illusion, which means apprehension of the real. In this view, even in cases of illusion, what we perceive is not unreal, but something real that exists elsewhere or in a different form. Error does not arise from perceiving something non-existent. Rather, it's happened due to misplacement or misapprehension of real object. For example, in the classical case of mistaking a shell for silver, Ramanuja argued that the silver is not imaginary or false. Silver is a real object that exists somewhere in the world. The error lies in mistaking the shell as that real silver due to defective perception or memory. Thus, illusion is not the creation of something unreal, as in Advaita's Māyā theory supported by Adi Shankaracharya, but a confusion between two real things. This theory fits with Ramanujacharya's broader philosophy, where the world is real, not illusory. All knowledge, even erroneous knowledge, has some basic in reality. In simple language, Sat-khyāti means that in illusion we do not see something false. We incorrectly identify one real thing as another real thing. If you are still watching, I hope you are finding this content useful. Please like and share this video, subscribe to the channel and share your thought in the comment. Your support motivates me to create even more content like this.